let's look at the process of actually doing an LU factorization. This first example we're looking at is going to be a little bit of the theory behind it and then also the practice of just doing it. So I'll try to make it clear which one is which. So let's say we've got a matrix A here and we want to factor it into L and U. We can certainly start by setting up our blanks. We've got L and U. We know L is going to have 1s on the main diagonal, 0s above. We know that U is going to have 0s below, not necessarily 1s on the main diagonal. And the first part of LU factorization is our old friend row reduction. And that's essentially what row reduction does, right? Is it turns an A into a U sort of thing. So that's going to be familiar ground. So let's just start the very first step, and I'm going to put that down here in a separate color. So the very first step would probably be -2 of row 1 added to row 2. Becomes a new row 2. So that would become 0, -2, row -8, 5, -3, -2, so 6, 1, 7. And I think at this point we're pretty comfortable with going on and doing the row reduction on row 3 as well, but I'm just going to leave it right here. I'm not even going to do that. So there's sort of your very first step of turning A into U. And let me point out, so this is sort of a pre-U. It's not done yet. Let me point out that I can also build this corresponding pre-L. So check out what this does right here. I'm just putting a 2. And notice 2 was the opposite of the multiplier for row 1 to row 2. And I multiply by -2 and add it. So I'm putting +2 here. Let's check out this multiplication and just see what it does. So I'm multiplying first column by our pre-L. So that'd be 2 of the first one, 0 the second one, 2 of the last one. So that'd be 2, 4, 2. The second one is going to be 4 of the first column, -3 of the second, and -5 of the third. So let's see, 4 of the first one, let's see, that's going to be 4. 4 and so 8, and -3 is 5. 0, 0, -5. And the last one is going to be -3. And then -6 plus 7 is 1. And 32. Notice, by the way, that this pre-L over here did not change the first row or the third row of the pre-U. All it did was add 2 of the first row to the second row. Essentially, it undid my first step of row reduction. And here's the heart of the matter. You can always write an L, pre-L, or eventually the full L, over here that will undo or reverse the steps that you've done to U. So if you get a full U over here and an L that can reverse all that, and multiplying those two together will take you back to A. Okay, so let's finish this process. I want to continue to row reduce U. So let me go ahead and kind of start over. So this was a little bit of theory almost. So let me start over just saying this is how it actually factor A into U, into LU. So A, I'm going to start doing the row reduction. I am going to keep the top row, but I'm going to first of all do -2 of the first row of the second row. So we already did that. 0, -3, and 7. And I know that the opposite of that, +2, will be what sort of undoes that process over here in the L. I'm going to do the same thing again to get row 3. I would do -1 of row 1 added to row 3. So that would be 0, -9, 35. And the opposite of -1 is +1, so I need a +1 right there. There's only one more step to reducing A to U, and there's only one more spot to fill in on L. So notice that my final bit of row reduction here, which I guess I'll go ahead and write out again. Let's see, 2, 4, -3, 0, -3, 7. The final step of row reduction would be to add -3 of row 2 to row 3. So since I'm adding -3 of row 2 to row 3, I'm going to end up putting +3 there. But let me finish. Let's see, that would be 0, 0, -3 times 7 is -21, 35 is 14. And I'm sure you're looking at this right here and saying, oh, it'd be easy to upper row reduce and stuff too, but we don't even need to go there. We have our full LU factorization. 2, 4, -3, -3, 7, and 14 right there. We have LU factored, and we should double check this to make sure that it's actually right and that I did not make any mistakes. So don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch me do it by hand again. Let's just check this with the calculator. So we've got the L and the U, and hopefully those multiply to make the A. 2, 4, -3, 4, 5, 1, and 2, -5, 32. Okay, so we have successfully factored A into L and U. We can use that to be more efficient with solving an LU system. And I think I'll call that good for this video. In the next video, we'll just take a single homework problem, top to bottom, do the whole process so you can see exactly what you're going to be doing on your homework.